Welcome to Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance, and we are in San Luis Obispo today. We are joined by Debbie Arnold. She is the chair of the Board of Supervisors in San Luis Obispo County. She recently announced her bid for re-election to a second term. Wow, those pictures of your re-election announcement, I literally thought it was a backdrop. I'm not kidding you. I thought those clouds were put in by a Hollywood studio, but no, it was just one of those days.
One of those days, yeah.
Where were you for our viewers statewide?
Well, I was standing in front of the City Hall in Atascadero,
Right.
and the City Hall was a victim of the 2003 earthquake.
Yes.
And it cracked and fell apart,
Right.
and there was a chain link fence around it. It wasn't used for 10 years. And then the question was, should we rebuild?
Right.
Or should we try to restore that old building? And there was a lot of discussion. And thankfully, the decision was made to refurbish that building. It's a gorgeous, if anyone's driving through Atascadero, it's a gorgeous, in fact, I always think, wow, most state capitals aren't this beautiful, but it's been fully restored to its original splendor, and it's really worth seeing. But it makes a pretty backdrop.
I have to admit, when I looked at the pictures, for a split second, I thought, wow, they're at the Universal Studios backlot with the Back to the Future clock tower building. And I thought, no.
Yeah.
This is San Luis Obispo. They didn't go down. I mean, that's what it looked like.
And it's as beautiful inside as it is outside. Oh, it's a beautiful rotunda.
So let's talk about your decision to seek re-election. The last 4 years have been exciting. There have been some sad times. You lost a member of the board within the first year of your term, a sudden death. And then his successor came on, and then another individual came on after that successor was not elected. So there's been some interesting
in District
times.
4, and really an old friend of mine, Supervisor Paul Teixeira, and it was very sudden. It was one of those examples where someone goes home from work and you see him.
Right.
I'll see you in the morning.
You literally,
and
I
then
remember
you get the
this.
call. That's right.
And so because of the change in the makeup of the board, you actually became chair of the board fairly early in your tenure.
I did. This is the year I'm serving as the chairman of the board.
And tell me about that, Madam Chairwoman. How is that being the chair?
Well, it's really been a great experience, and maybe I hope that I've brought something to the board, a more welcoming feeling to the board, where the citizenry can actually come in and feel like this is their house, and we're there to listen to their comments.
And let's talk about that environment you're trying to create, because look, you're just Debbie from Pozo Valley. I mean, you're just like anyone else who has a ranch and a farm with kids and grandkids. And so tell me about that desire to bring that hometown feel to your office, to be that representative.
It's really important to me because as things become more complex and our government has expanded and has become more complex, as have the issues, I think it's intimidating to people. You know, they don't live this and breathe this every day, so they may not be up on the issues quite like we all are. And it's intimidating to try to weigh in and just give your opinion. But that's the way the system's supposed to work. We're supposed to be a citizen-driven government.
Right, and let's talk about one issue that I don't think you ever dreamed would be so much on the front of your mind, and that's the water situation, the drought.
That's right.
When you took office in 2012, we maybe had a year of drought, but it was going to get better.
It was the very beginning, and now we're looking in the rearview mirror where we've experienced 4 years of very severe drought conditions. So for me, all along, and I mean the issue's complex all over the county, but for me the goal is for fair distribution of the water.
Right.
Not picking winners and losers, but fair distribution of the water. And then I was very relieved when we as a board passed a water export ordinance that will restrict the ability for anyone to come into our county, because we do have one of the largest aquifers west of the Rockies in the northern part of our county, and be able to take it elsewhere.
And what's remarkable about that decision, and just all decisions surrounding water these last 4 years, while the issues at some points were contentious, the board did come together pretty well in the final analysis. There seemed to be, at some level, unanimity on how to approach the drought. Is that fair?
It is, and still, you know, there's there's a lot of discussion and debate because
Which is
we're
fine.
dealing with the people's ability to use their property and where are
Right.
the limitations, et cetera, et cetera. But I have to say, the county public works department, flood control district,
Right.
they're one and the same.
Oh, yeah.
Or the public works department staffs the supervisors and when we sit
Right.
as the flood control district. But they've done a phenomenal job, and they really have all along. They've continued to stay up with state mandates so that these new state mandates of managing the water basins should be easier
Oh, yes.
for our county to comply than some others.
And during all of this, with all these issues being presented, you are named the president of the San Luis Obispo County of Governments. That is Council of Governments. Thank
right,
you.
yeah.
I mean, that is the overarching arm of all the city government, the county governments. I mean,
That's correct. In this county, it deals mostly with regional transportation. It takes on other roles in other counties, but our SLOCOG, Council of Governments, it takes in the federal and
Right.
state transportation dollars and then prioritizes projects and it distributes accordingly.
Right.
Also the Regional Transit Authority, which is our public
course.
transportation. And then the other, the trails, the bike lanes, those kinds of things. That's all under the jurisdiction.
and I know that you're particularly proud that during your tenure these last 4 years, you've been able to look at the question of county roads,
Yes.
which has been an issue, especially in your district.
Yes. Well, and all over, we invite tourists to our county,
Right.
and we want them to drive around on our county roads.
Yes.
And the recession hit everyone, and there was a lot of deferred maintenance. But I'm proud to say that this year's budget
Mm-hmm.
fully funds the annual amount to keep our road maintenance up where it should
And
be.
let's talk about the budget. I will say that you were named Hero of Taxpayers on the Central Coast by the Central Coast Taxpayers Association. What does that mean to you?
Well, what that means is I am working really hard to prioritize the dollars that come in as revenue instead of spending frivolously
Right.
and then reaching a hand out to the taxpayers to give us more. We need to be taking care of our responsibilities and frugal with our money.
So how have you balanced and how will you continue to balance, should you be reelected, that desire to be frugal but still provide services that are necessary?
Well, and that's right. There's always a constant ask, right?
Right. Oh, yes.
From one level of government or another. And I have consistently worked to protect our voting threshold. In other words, people say,
Oh, yes.
we need to bring that down from 2/3. We need to bring it down so it's easier to
Right.
pass taxes. And after working for the state assembly and the
You
state
did.
senate, being around all that, I say, you know what? That threshold needs to stay there because you've seen plenty of bad legislation pass and it just isn't vetted well enough. 2/3 is a threshold that you need to massage that until you have 2/3, 66% of the
Right.
citizenry in favor of that. And you still might have 33% that doesn't like that, but if it's good legislation, you will get that 2/3.
Let us presume you're reelected. What are your goals for your next term?
I just want to keep going with the projects. I want to see this water,
Right.
the decisions to be made on our future of our water resource. I want to see that through. I want to see the Homeless Services Center finished.
Right. Another
And-
one of your accomplishments. I know you were on the
Yeah.
Homeless Authority.
And I just want to be sure that we continue to keep our responsibility on maintaining maintenance of our infrastructure and particularly our roads.
Her name is Debbie Arnold. She is currently the chair of the Board of Supervisors in San Luis Obispo County. She is running for re-election. That election will be held in June of 2016. My name is Brad Pomerance. We're on the beautiful Central Coast today in San Luis Obispo County, and this is Charter Local Edition.